Hello and welcome to this special episode of No Load Time pre-E3 predictions. My name is Obed Velez, and with me, the most interesting man in the world, Julian.
What's good, No Load Time? Good to be with you for this special episode with some special people. You guys are awesome. Thank you for always tuning in.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for all your support for the last few weeks. It's been great. So we really appreciate it. Again, if you're listening through Google Play or iTunes, just go ahead and leave us a review. Let us know how we're doing. Send us an email, nolotime@gmail.com. We'd absolutely love to hear from you guys. And if you have any questions for us about this E3 stuff, feel free to send it. And we'll talk about it next week, because next week we're going to have
That's it.
our post E3 stuff, and we'll see how well we do on this one. We have a few things that we think will happen, some news that we're going to talk about that broke this week, and of course, a big announcement from Google and other stuff that happened. But Joe, before we jump in, you went and watched a small movie by the name of Godzilla, King of the Monsters. And I want to hear your impressions about that, sir, because that's one of the movies that I was really excited about. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to catch it in the movie theater. I may, but I'll definitely try to go out of my way and watch it. But Joel, tell me what's up with that.
Yeah, man. This is one of those movies that really is controversial in the sense of some people are gonna love it, some people are gonna hate it, and going into it, I try to have a very much an open mind. You and I both talked about beforehand. It really got ripped for some really low reviews, similar to how we talked about Aladdin the week before. I really like this movie, and I like it just because I like Godzilla, and that's all you need to like. If you like Godzilla, you're fine. Like, the battles they give us are at an amazing scale. It's unlike anything we've ever seen from Godzilla before. I really mean that. They really take him to another level that you almost feel like, in some ways when I was watching this movie, it almost felt like the third installment if they were trying to make like a Godzilla, trilogy, right? Like they jumped almost like so far ahead in a good way, by really upping the ante that much more. Of course, we have the main monsters that we know about Godzilla, and then we have Mothra and Rodan and Ghidorah. But there also are plenty of other monsters that come in that really help you to view it as, a world of monsters and who's going to be the king of the monsters.
Does it have Jet Jaguar?
I will say no more, man. I don't want to spoil it for you, bro. I'm not gonna spoil anything for you. There was a few of them. I was like, oh snap.
Okay,
So
I need to go watch this friggin' movie now.
Yeah, I mean, there's people who I've talked to that they said they've waited years for this movie, that they're that big of Godzilla fans, and I know, Obed, you're one of those fans as well that really loves Godzilla and has been watching him for a while. So, I joke, but like, 8-year-old me was happy with the movie. He just sat there. He just watched a great Godzilla battle. Negatives about the movie, there definitely exist. I could see where people weren't too crazy about the humans, but they didn't detract from the movie though. Like, it it definitely felt like you love so much of the monsters that you could do without anything and just have monsters growling and fighting for a whole movie and be happy. But I understand that, there has to be some human element to it, right? And, like, you've got Millie Bobby Brown, actress from Stranger Things in here, and she could have easily been your cliche teenager who just hates the world and is just, on her Facebook Live all day or whatever, right? No, like, they don't go for those cliches in this movie. Characters make sense for why they have the motivations that they have, except for the villain. And I'm not going to get into it, but there's one unsuspecting villain that's kind of like an anti-hero-ish kind of character. It's weird to describe.
John Cena.
Right. Like, I'm not gonna give away which character it is, but when you watch it, you'll quickly realize, like, wow, this character is really annoying because of what they're saying they're trying to do is supposed to be right. And I think the best villains there are the villains that really believe that they're right? I think that they don't see anything wrong
Yeah,
with
like
doing anything bad.
Thanos
Thanos, Magneto, like
Samasu from Dragon Ball Super.
sure.
Yeah,
No, that's some of the best villains. Her villain, oh, I was spoiling it. This villain is kind of like that, but it's like a naivety more so. So it's like we're supposed to buy into this, and I didn't buy into it that much personally, but it didn't take away from the movie. So with all that being said, you've heard what I've had to say. Some of you have already seen the movie. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't, now you've got the grain of salt that I've just given to you going into it.
Cool, man. I can't wait. This is one of the movies that I was most excited about for this year. Again, unfortunately, family can't be at the movie theater. I can't be Joe, right, and be the smooth bachelor going to all this movie premieres and all this stuff. But I'm definitely going to try and catch it. Of course, if I don't, then I'll buy it on Blu-ray, because I'm assuming this is probably going to be I'm going to get it anyway, because I'm assuming this is probably going to be one of those movies that it's going to be a showcase movie for a surround sound system, or something like that. So
absolutely. I actually watched this movie in the Dolby format at AMC theaters. This is not a plug for AMC. We're not paid by them, but they.
Although if you want AMC, we're willing to take your money.
Yes, if you want to talk to us AMC. But I did watch in their Dolby format, and those rooms, like, there's literally subwoofers under your seats. And oh my gosh, dude! Like, from the beginning to the end, every scene Godzilla just begins to just roar, just shaking your chair. It was amazing, bro.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, the first Godzilla movie had really good sound too. So
this takes it up another notch.
Nice.
Your surround sound's gonna be ready for a great night.
Nice. I can't wait. Joe, we got some movie news that we just want to touch up on real quick before we jump into the E3 extravaganza that we have going on here. But it got just announced about an hour ago, confirmed by Sony, that the Uncharted movie is coming out December 18th, 2020, starring Tom Holland as Nathan Drake. So, movie's on, man.
Yeah, I'm very happy about this news, because I'm a big fan of Uncharted, the entire franchise. For a movie, I definitely wasn't the route I think that I was suspecting. When I heard that they were getting Tom Holland, it's very clear that they were going a different than traditional route. Even though, yes, I understand in Uncharted 3, like, we do see or spend enough time with a younger Nathan Drake. So going and starting at the origin. But when you have an actor like Tom Holland, it's like, does that mean, like, if people like it so much that you stay in this timeline, or do you quickly jump to an older Nathan Drake? Because obviously Tom can only play a certain age range, right? Like, because he's very young. So that's only like questions I have going into for the future of it, because Obed, I think between Uncharted and things like The Last of Us, I think there's such good source material from those stories that they easily can become franchises and things that people really grab onto. We've talked about before how maybe video game franchises could be the future superhero franchises if you can just get one right.
Yeah.
If you could get one video game movie done right, it could take off just the way comic book movies have taken off. And maybe this will do it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it could very well be. Although I think the last Tomb Raider was well received and made pretty good money, but it wasn't like on a different level, right? You need that movie to take it up a notch. You need that Spider-Man. You need that Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
Exactly.
From back in the day, just to break through the barrier. And this movie could very well be it. I'm hoping it is. And I'm pretty excited. Who's gonna play Sully, Joel? Who's your pick?
Oh my gosh, Sully. Oh man, I mean, you could go like Tom Hanks, or you can go like, it
Bruce
depends
Campbell.
on who. Yeah, exactly. Bruce Camp. Like, you could go. You just gotta have somebody that can give it a lot of personality. Sully's great.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, the movie was rumored to be in trouble, but apparently was completely the opposite. It's good to go. So yeah, December 18th, 2020. We will see what that's all about. And yeah, Joel, this week we have a bunch of announcements. The first announcement that we have this week that we want to touch upon is the confirmation of or the announcement of the release date for the new Pokemon Sword and Shield, and that's going to be November 15th, a week after Death Stranding. So you're going to have completely opposite type of games going against each other on completely opposite sort of the spectrum when it comes to hardware as well. And two very anticipated games coming out a week apart from each other. Joel, did you have a chance to watch that trailer that they put out, or the full direct? I was able to watch the full direct after the fact.
I only watched the trailer, not the full
just
direct.
Watched the trailer. Okay,
yeah,
it looks great. It looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun, man. People have been clamoring for a console Pokemon game since the N64. And I remember back in the day, people were very disappointed when, I mean, not necessarily disappointed, right? Some people were not, because they did get something different. But back in the N64, when Pokemon Snap got announced, and it wasn't necessarily a Pokemon RPG sort of game. And then Coliseum, when that game got announced, which will let you take your Pokemon from the Game Boy games and put them up in 3D against each other, but it wasn't a fully fledged, again, Pokemon game. And this is the first time that because of the miracle of the Switch, and that this game is going to be available for us to play either on our TVs or on the go. I think this is gonna be, Joe. This is like this thing's gonna print so much money, and the Switch is gonna sell so crazy for Christmas. And we'll get to Nintendo later because I have a few predictions. But Joe, what do you think of the trailer first of all, and what do you think of what the new direction on Pokemon is?
Oh, I think it's very true to itself. Looking at the trailer, it's very true to what Pokemon fans love about Pokemon. And I also think that, like, getting now this, like we're talking about, on the Switch for another generation to enjoy and appreciate, it's the right way to do it. They're pushing this out the right timing. Ahead of E3, this is nice because now we should be able to get some good gameplay out of it. Hopefully, some more insight into it, maybe. But yeah, I loved what I saw for it. I mean, I'm not a Pokemon, I'm not someone who's an avid Pokemon fan or anything of that nature, but I definitely I'm very familiar and very very aware of it, and when I saw the trailer, I was like, okay, cool. I see why the internet is going, oh snap, it's back.
Yeah, and they have some really cool new mechanics. The Dynamax mechanic, where your Pokemon basically turns you into a kaiju, and you can fight other Pokemon. So it's pretty nuts.
That's
I like it.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty crazy. So that's one of those unexpected sort of a new mechanics that the game will have, and I'm happy to see that they're really just going and giving you a lot of new stuff to do. Not only just get the Pokemon. The game looks really pretty too.
Yeah.
So the art style, of course, looks really good, and of course, the Switch it's pretty capable, right? It's not PS4 or even Xbox One levels of capable, but it looks good. Like I think the Nintendo games really benefit from their art design. I've said it a few times already. Games like Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, and Pokemon, of course, Mario Kart, and all these games. They really use art design to their advantage, and they do it in a very good way. So yeah, I'm pretty pumped. I wouldn't mind checking it out. I haven't played a Pokemon game in 20 years, but sure.
That's a good place to be. That if you're that kind of disconnected just because you just didn't go for it, but you're actually open to playing this, that they've done their job.
Absolutely. Yeah, it looks good. The other big announcement, Joe, that we had just this morning, it is the full reveal of the Google Stadia service, if we want to call it that. We probably should. And they really dropped a pretty big bomb here. This is very, very competitive. No wonder Microsoft and Sony joined forces on that cloud gaming initiative that got announced a couple of weeks ago. Because this is they're coming out, they're very aggressive with what this thing is, and this will be a $10 a month service for basically play games on the cloud. This is their introductory a plan, or they're calling it the Pro plan. There is going to be a no charge plan that's going to be available next year, and they are releasing what they're calling a Founders Bundle for $130 coming out this November, which is basically a Chromecast Ultra and in the controller that we've already saw. They did say they did show that they're working with basically all publishers on having games on the service, which is important. Of course, you need that content. They showed Mortal Kombat. I don't know how great this service is going to be for a fighting game. That latency is going to be killer. We'll see what they do, but then they came out straight up and said that if you want the best, which is 4K HDR, 60 frames a second with surround sound, you need at least 35 megabits for your broadband connection, which is, I mean, we live in Florida. We have okay internet. Our internet here compared to like most parts of the country is actually pretty good. I mean, we have decent internet actually, so that's not too bad, man, for bandwidth. Although I did hear that for 65 hours of gameplay, you'll be using around a terabyte of data. That's just prepping people that want to use, phone tethering and LTE and whatnot. If you are, a subscriber to AT&T or Spectrum or any other provider that doesn't have caps, you're not going to have a problem. But this is going to be an issue with Comcast customers, since they have those caps. I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know if Comcast is getting ready to do adjustments, but I think that if people start getting into this service, they will be forced into making some changes for sure. The controller by itself is $70, which is the same as a Switch Pro controller. And yeah, Joe, man, it's pretty exciting. Because they're coming out and they're being very aggressive. So what do you think, man?
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts about the business model. I think that's really what that was what they really had to sell to us at this event more than anything else. Because beforehand they had showed us, how they expected this service to work, and the hope of having a lot of different franchises to be playable on their device and on their service. So looking at the $9.99 a month for that Pro subscription, that's a very good price point. It's fair. It's enough that they don't have to have a crazy amount of day one subscribers, and they'll be able to keep their head above water early on. So that, I think that's a good price point looking at it. If they would have done something crazy like $5 or $6, it's like you're not going to be able to survive. But if you also did something like $20 a month, nobody would have signed up for it. I mean, that's just the reality. So they really did their research right. I mean, it's Google. We expect that, right? $130 for that bundle. That's a great way of encouraging people to sign up from day one. The whole founders idea, right? Be one of the beginners. I know people who are passive gamers that took notice of this announcement simply because they wanted to know what the model was going to be and what this was all going to be about, and that $130 price point really got them happy. So that's a good thing. Looking at the feedback and the noise coming back there. The thing about the whole buying games separately, I understand I understand it's necessary. I understand, I'm not against that. I'm just gonna be curious to see how that works. Digital price, games, how that's gonna vary, what that's gonna look like. I mean, there's really no indication at all. Everything we say from here is speculation because there's no way to really tell
Yeah.
what that's gonna be like. So that's something that's gonna have to be interesting because we know physical games, $60 just to have the hard copy, and also for digital copies like on PlayStation Network and whatnot. But was that going to be in Google Stadia? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Um, I wouldn't mind checking out the service once they come up with the free model, especially since you can use it on anything.
Right.
So I wouldn't mind checking it out, and of course you can use your PS4 to Xbox controllers on it as well. Um, just going back real quick on that, Joel, it was very, I think, proactive of Apple to announce that Apple TV and iOS devices are going to be compatible with uh, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One controllers via Bluetooth. So that was
No,
very
that's very
reactive on
good.
their part, especially now with remote play on iOS devices for PS4. I saw a video of someone playing Persona 5 on their iPad with a PS4 controller, and I was like, "Oh, this is like what? This is exactly what I needed, exactly what I wanted." Yes, um, so that was pretty cool to see. Very reactive, I think, very very wise of their part. Although they could be wiser in some other areas. I don't want to talk about Apple today because we have a lot of stuff to talk about, but $9.99 for a stand, Joe. Holy crap!
A
Um,
stand.
a stand, yeah. Um, yeah, I want to see what's up. Oh, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I was also going to the modeling, the price model. So one of the things that they do highlight is that you can cancel any time your subscription, which is great. It's not like a 1 year promise my life on it kind of subscription. It's like no, you can cancel, but the key is that get only the games that you actually purchase while you had your subscription you'll have access to. You won't have access to anything else. Obviously, we know there's two free games that come with it day one, right? Destiny and something else,
Destiny
sort of.
2 the collection they're calling it, which is
Right.
basically the entirety of Destiny 2. Yeah. Um,
And
and I believe, yeah, that's the one that comes with the service.
comes with
So
it, yeah.
yeah, yeah, and also they include, if you get the founders package, you get 3 months of the pro service for two people. So you get one for yourself and one to share with someone, which is a good way of for people to spread the word, right?
Right.
It's a very wise decision on their end. Yeah, they announced a bunch of stuff, on those games. Of course, the one that I want to mention is Final Fantasy 15, because holy crap, Final Fantasy 15, Obed loves that game. And they did reveal Baldur's Gate 3, which was rumored since last week that was gonna be a thing. 2K is gonna be in with NBA 2K, Mortal Kombat 11, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, Doom Eternal, Samurai Showdown. So you'll have a very good list of games that are going to be available on this service, and that's not counting whatever other games they manage to cram in before the service launches. I I'm cautiously optimistic. I don't want cloud gaming to be the future of gaming because of the attachment that I have to physical media.
You and I are
Um,
both like that, yeah.
yeah, so I mean this. I think this is a good complement to
Yes.
traditional gaming. Um, in the same way, PlayStation Now could be a good complement to to PS Plus and to having a PlayStation. So yeah, interesting stuff. Curious to see what else they come up with, and they did say that they're gonna have more information available, in the near future. But yeah, man, it's pretty interesting stuff, and they're not playing around, which is good because it forces the hand, right? And we talked about it just before we started recording,
Yep.
and it's like this. It makes total sense why Sony and Microsoft are just joining forces in this cloud gaming and a cloud AI initiative that they're doing because they they they
It's
needed it.
it's
They needed it.
necessary.
Yeah, they knew what was going to happen. I think that they knew that this was going to be very aggressive. They both knew, and you know, Microsoft lacked the expertise and Sony lacked the infrastructure, and it was one of those win-win sort of scenarios for them. And in the case of Google, they had both. They had the expertise, and they had, they definitely have the infrastructure. Of course, as we mentioned in the past, Jade Raymond joined the Stadia team as one of their VPs. So they're into it. Phil Harrison, who was at both the PlayStation 3 reveals back in the day, and as well as some of the Xbox One, Xbox 360 in the later years as well. So, yeah, it's good. I think competition is good, man.
I agree.
And this is gonna force Sony and Microsoft to put on their big boy pants and do something because I think these guys are coming very aggressive. These guys are coming for the casual market, bro. Like that's what they want to do. They don't care about the hardcore gamer. The hardcore gamer is gonna buy their 3000 PC and their consoles and their games, and they're gonna play without latency and whatnot. But who watches the Watchmen, right? It's who takes care of the casuals, and this is it. You don't need to buy any hardware. You don't need anything. We'll go ahead and hook you up with a controller. You can play anywhere.
They've kind of simplified it and made it appear at least to be economically friendly. So, which people like that. Like, I don't need to commit too much, but okay.
Yeah,
so we'll see.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. Joe, let's go ahead and kick off our predictions.
Woohoo.
And let's start with EA because they are. I think they're the first ones coming out on Saturday. They're gonna have a big apology. Please be excited for Anthem, sort of thing, Joel. Because I mean, of course we talked about Anthem and how that roadmap they're not even gonna use it anymore. Who knows where they're going with Anthem? They might as well just kill it and reboot. It may take a year for them to do that, but yeah, Joel, what do you think on that one?
Yeah, I definitely think that EA is going to put a lot of sorry about Anthem, sorry about some of the stuff that we've had this negative publicity for quite a bit here.
Sorry about the Battlefield 5 Battle Royale, which apparently is terrible.
Yeah, not a lot of good stuff that people have been talking about well for them. Obviously, there's also going to try and put in our faces some of the positives, right? Like they're going to quickly try and say like, hey, Apex Legends, like, we're this thing's happening. Of course, they're going to be like, we've got a new Star Wars coming, which is probably going to be their biggest hope for a showstopper that they can put out.
Yeah. They released the box art for it today. It looks, it looks super generic.
It does. But believe it or not, though, people like it. I mean, there's someone that we work with that they asked me about it today. They're like, oh, hey, what is this thing? They had never not heard of it before, and they don't game frequently at all. And they saw that and they're like, oh wow, and I showed them the trailer and they're like, I might need to get this. I don't know. So it's I mean, they're doing good on the marketing, but yep. I don't think EA's really had a struggle with marketing prior so much as it's been like the devil's in the details for them. Like once people get their hands on the actual product, like, oh wait, what are you guys doing with this thing? So they got to get their announcements right, not just with the IPs, but also with like how they treat them.
So one big thing for EA, Joel, that we haven't mentioned, and I have not seen any updates on this, so I'm just gonna go on a limb here. I believe that the next Madden is the last Madden that they have under exclusive licensing from the NFL. So I don't know if they actually renewed that or extended that deal, but their original deal when they took the license away, remember that 2K used to make
Oh
those
yeah,
awesome
Take two,
football,
2K.
yeah.
Yeah, they used again.
They used to make those awesome football games, and they were better than Madden. They reviewed better, they sold better. So EA logged the license in. No more NFL for anyone until 2020. But the next one's the last one, and what's going to happen after that? Is this going to be like the end all be all Madden that people have been wanting since for 10 years? Or
Although people do buy Madden just because of the exclusivity, like that, just purely for that reason, they move well.
yeah. But then at the same time, Madden used to be the
Oh, for
sports
sure.
video game, and now NBA
No,
2K is the
2K took
one.
over.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It's EA is in a weird spot, man. It's like they I think that they're trying and not trying at the same time, which is really weird to say, but it's it's just rough all over the place, and I don't know where they're going, and I really don't know what they want to do. But yeah, like what you said, Full in Order is probably going to be the biggest thing that their biggest push during whatever they show.
Yeah, because they
Yeah.
can't. They got to get a lot of positive publicity. Obed. I mean, laying off, was it 350 people not that long ago, and I mean, there's just been a lot of big issues going around these guys. So this has got to be something that people look at them positive. They don't need any negativity. They need to play it very safe and play it nice.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're. I'm looking at just to touch back on the Madden licensing, and uh, yeah, they basically. I mean, it was 2020, but they really don't know. Like, there's like no information on it. So
Hmm.
I mean, could very well be that it's done, but at the same time they just could keep renewing. I'm not sure if 2K is really interested in that license anymore, on based on how well they do with NBA, and them being able to focus resources on NBA and not having to worry about having to refocus the studio onto another sports brand. So yeah, they're in a weird spot. Of course, they make $1 billion out of FIFA.
Right.
So of course they're gonna bring in like Pelé or someone, some old football player, and say like, oh yeah, here's the next FIFA, give us $1 billion, and they'll probably do that. But they're not in a spot to keep souring the pond, because it's
Right.
it's getting to them. But yeah, I mean, do you expect anything else? Just to move on, and any other? I don't think we'll see any other Battlefronts
No.
or any other Battlefields for at least a couple of years.
No, just a bunch of Apex Legends. Like I said before, they have to play it safe.
Yeah, yeah. I really don't know what they're planning. So EA is one of the most cryptic ones for me. Joe, Ubisoft, makers of your favorite franchise, Assassin's Creed. Joel's representing over there. So there's no Assassin's Creed this year,
Right.
but we did hear and got a confirmation of Watch Dogs Legion, that's coming out this year. So do you think, Joel, that's going to be their new thing? It's going to be Watch Dogs Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs Assassin's Creed, and that way they can pause the franchises in between?
That could be that's a good theory. I've not looked at it that way. For sure, like we know, Assassin's Creed has to have that in between cycle pause. But Watch Dogs, I don't know if that's going to be as often as we might think. I don't know, because it's been a while since Watch Dogs 2, right? Um,
2 years.
2 years, yeah. So yeah, then maybe they'll keep that cycle. I personally, I wasn't that crazy about Watch Dogs 2. A lot of people ran to it. It looked cool, looked like a cool next gen thing. But I liked Watch Dogs 1 a lot. I played that quite a bit. But Watch Dogs 2 just never really got crazy about it. Well, I can't wait to see what Watch Dogs Legion is gonna be. Right, the third installment. Where do you go from there?
Yeah, this one's gonna be set in London, and the big thing for this game is that you can basically recruit NPCs for your to your group, and you can play as any of those NPCs that you recruit. So you don't have a one character. Basically, your goal is to build your Hacker Man group, basically, and then you can play as any of them because they all have different skills. And based on the description that they put out, you can recruit anyone. Like, you can approach any NPC. Hey, do you have skills? Let's go. It's pretty cool. Being set in London, they're saying that the game will not feature like gunfights because it's London.
Yeah.
So they will probably approach combat in a different way, which is good.
And they've always used that like nightstick kind of thing a lot more than even shooting. Shooting's been minimal.
Yeah, I don't think the shooting on Watch Dogs have been like the selling point. I think that their selling point has been more of the hacking, spying sort of thing, and then the like get off my back sort of like a combat versus a full frontal assault with a rifle or something. So I really want to see that game in action. That game has piqued my interest because it sounds different enough that I wouldn't mind checking it out. The other one that's been MIA forever is that Skulls and Bones game, Joel.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That was like 2 years ago, right? Or 3 years ago?
That was two, but yeah, I don't think anybody's cares.
It's about 2 years ago. You know what? Let's do an on the fly
look up
on that game. But do you have any predictions for Ubisoft?
Yeah, they're gonna definitely bring Just Dance because why not? It's Just Dance, bro. I mean, dude, it's like how many years straight of Just Dance? I mean, just keep dancing, I guess. So, I mean, that's what we call it. Just Dance. Was it 5, 6, 7, whatever? Just Dance, keep dancing. I don't know, but
how about Beyond Good and Evil? Will we finally see gameplay on that?
Yeah, I do actually. I do think we'll see some Beyond Good and Evil. That makes sense. And then I also think maybe Obed will actually see some Splinter Cell, something new for Splinter Cell.
Okay.
I could see that being a title, a franchise that comes into the mix. I also think Obed that regardless that we know an Assassin's Creed is not coming out now. I do think that the Assassin's Creed Ragnarok that's been rumored, there could be a formal announcement of that being in progress. So, they don't have to do that, but there's been enough rumors around it that I could see them putting that formal announcement.
Okay. Yeah. So Skull and Bones was confirmed by GameSpot to be delayed until 2020.
Wow.
So
make sure.
There you go. Joel, what do you think about Ubisoft coming out with their own games service, kind of like what EA Access is to Xbox and coming to PS4 soon? There was rumors that there's going to be a service called Uplay or Uplay Pro, something in that nature. Do you think we'll see something like that from Ubisoft?
I do think that's a fair assessment. Do they announce it at E3? Not sure they're ready for it yet. They might have to wait to see how much people buy into their upcoming titles to say, you like these titles, we'll just get a subscription to us. Maybe they wait for that. But I do see it coming down the line. I think that you will get to the next gen conversation coming up, but this is it's gonna have to factor into the being a part of whatever next gen is, and that's gonna be streaming. So if you can get into it with this, yes, I think it's inevitable, right?
Yeah. How about anything new? Any new IPs? Are they gonna play it safe? Or are they gonna show anything new?
Maybe one new IP. What that is, who knows, right? But maybe one new thing. But I'm not too much thinking that's gonna be a focus. Like I said to you, I think maybe a surprise would be like a Splinter Cell, like something that we've already heard of before, but maybe something new.
All right, cool. Let's move right along to let's leave Microsoft till the end because they're gonna be they're kind of a big deal, right?
The show floor is theirs.
Yeah, it's their E3. It's their E3 to win, basically. But let's talk about Bethesda. And again, going back to EA, will we be getting an apology for Fallout 76?
Yes. I think the way they might even do this, and I forget, I think I heard someone else say this before, but the way they might do this, there's no reason to base this except for again, us just purely predicting, they might even make Fallout 76 free to play.
Wow.
I'm serious, dude.
So what happens to those people that bought the game a year ago? Or not a year ago, 6 months ago.
Too bad. I think those people already threw their copies out or are using them as door stoppers.
Just like, I don't know, man. Just going out to it's going back to pictures out there. I mean, those pictures that came from Germany, it was like people go into the store and it's like buy a DualShock 4, get a free Fallout 76, and buy a Fallout 76 Xbox One bundle and get Fallout 76 for free. So you get a second copy. So it was bad. Like they dropped the ball.
Yeah.
And I've been saying this for a long time, and I've been a firm believer that Bethesda has been they've been riding the fans' goodwill. They've been riding that wave for a while, and that wave finally came to a stop. So I think they really need to bring it when it comes to other properties, right? Because we all know Doom Eternal is gonna be good. We all know Wolfenstein is gonna be good. There's rumors that Shinji Mikami is gonna come back and do Evil Within 3, which I heard 2 was really good, but Mikami does not direct that one. So there's that, right? There's those things that we know are happening. Of course, Rage 2 just got released to sort of lukewarm reviews, but I think what Bethesda will probably do, I don't know if this could be a mistake, if they do this, or if they can reignite the fan base's goodwill, is that they'll probably show something about whatever their next big project is, whether it be that Starfield or even Elder Scrolls 6,
which they have time for.
The thing with Elder Scrolls is that they said that it's at least 5 years away.
Yeah, they have time.
Showing something so early, man. Look at Square with their Final Fantasy trailers, and we'll talk about them in a minute. But man, I don't know if that's gonna be good. Yeah, I mean, they have cool stuff to show again with Doom and Wolfenstein and whatnot, but
they need more titles. They definitely need to put out some new stuff.
Yeah, well, they need to make sure that their flagship titles are shown in some way.
Yeah,
and yeah, I agree with you with Fallout 76 becoming free to play. I think this could be a bombshell that can be dropped during the conference. That game was I gotta watch my language. This is a family friendly podcast.
It angered people
because the game was messed up.
Yeah.
Since it launched, like it glitched, and the monetization behind the game was screwed up, and the game just didn't work in any way. It was like an absolute disaster. At least Anthem, in a mechanical way, it works. It's kind of boring, but it works, right?
Sure.
But this game was like, yo, what the heck, man? I really don't know. I mean, yeah, they'll ask for your money. They'll apologize, and they'll give you a glimpse of the future, and hopefully they announce that they're getting rid of that terrible engine that they've been using for forever. because that engine's awful and outdated. So hopefully they do something new. Joe, Square Enix is taking over
Yep.
Sony's spot on Monday night, and my prediction is that we'll get two big things from them. It's gonna be we're gonna get a release date for Final Fantasy VII Remake Part One because they've confirmed that the game will be split in two parts. There's gonna be a Part One, Part Two. This is not news. Like this, it's been rumored for forever that the game's gonna be, you know, they said episodic, but it's not really episodic. I mean, they're gonna split it in two parts. And my prediction is that game's coming out in March of next year.
Okay.
So that's gonna be my prediction for Final Fantasy VII Remake. They'll announce the final Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC, and it's gonna be a kind of like one of those things they do for Kingdom Hearts, but instead of selling you a separate $60 game, they'll probably just sell you a $20 expansion where you get maybe a new world, new characters, and the true ending to the game or something like that. So I see that happening on their end. Other than that, I think they're gonna play it safe. I really wish that they would give us an update on that game, that fantasy game that Platinum Games was developing for them. I forgot the name. But while I look for it, Joe, anything that you have for Square Enix?
Well, since aside from the stuff you already mentioned, Avengers is going to definitely be talked about in depth, and they've already kind of teased that ahead of the show. So
Gonna be a full reveal on that one.
Exactly. So that's perfect, right? Like this is the year of the Avengers, dude. Like they're 70 mil away from being the all-time highest domestic film. Sorry, not highest domestic, highest grossing worldwide film. We'll hit that. We'll see. But just saying that people love that property. People have been anticipating this game for a while. This is the year that they can really get people hyped on it early. So yeah, hopefully that will be a really bombshell trailer for like, oh my gosh, that's Avengers game, right? Like people are really, really talking about it. This could be a really nice piece for Square Enix. Separate from that though, like you mentioned, Obed, which property again were you saying about March? Saying Final Fantasy, the Final Fantasy remake, right?
The 7 remake, yeah.
Yep, remake. So that's fascinating. If that is the case, then I think it's gonna be a cross-generational game in the sense that, like, what rumors are maybe April. We'll get into that later on too. But rumors are April of 2020 is when maybe we'll have PS5 kind of launch or whatever that ends up being called, and maybe Microsoft too. We'll see. But like, obviously backwards compatibility is going to be a thing, but I could see this being one of those nice little, this is something a lot of people are waiting on, this is really cool, play it here and play it there.
Yeah, that could be the case, yeah. For sure, I can see that. Babylon's Fall was that game that
Yes.
That was Square Enix and Platinum Games that was revealed last year, so I really want to see more about this game, for sure.
And the guy that worked on that game, I think, helped do Bayonetta or something. Yeah.
It was this. I think this is the director of Nier Automata.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it looks like a promising title.
Yeah. I really want to see more about this game. But yeah, I think that they're gonna spend their time with Final Fantasy and Avengers. That's gonna be their two. There's gonna be their two big showpieces. We may get a gameplay reveal for this game. Like I said, Kingdom Hearts 3 is still out there. Sold really well. So they should go ahead and put out that DLC. They haven't announced that the game has ceased development. Kind of like what we had with Devil May Cry 5 when a month after the game came out, it was like, oh yeah, we've ceased development, we're done, so that's it. And they went ahead and moved on to other stuff. Yeah, I don't see anything too crazy about Square. I think they're just gonna showcase those games because they're good games, uh, for them to put out there and have people react to them. Joe, Avengers, any predicted date for that
I do think that that comes out next year.
next
I
year?
don't think it comes out this year. So next year, maybe early even next year, I could see maybe.
Okay, like half first half of
Right.
2020. Okay,
Right.
yeah, that's possible. That's definitely possible. So, yeah, we'll see about that on Square. Joe, Nintendo, they're the last ones to go, but I want to talk to them before I get into Microsoft because Microsoft it's in a very crazy transitional period right now. Regarding the Xbox brand, but Nintendo, other than what they already showed about Pokemon. Of course, they said that Pokemon, the remake of the Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, um, and Marvel Ultimate Alliance and Luigi's Mansion 3, those games are going to be playable on the floor. But other than that, Joe, big announcement wise, I think Nintendo is going to reveal a couple of new things and new fresh things. They're going to tease at something huge for sure. Like they're gonna tease at something that's Breath of the Wild type of level stuff. They're not gonna show anything. They're just gonna tease about it. Um, and I think they're big. They're gonna keep putting content on the Switch, and they're gonna keep bringing Wii U games that no one played over to the Switch, and which is a good thing because a lot of people missed out on a lot of good stuff that came out on the Wii U because no one bought a Wii U because it was awful. Um, but I see them announcing um, or deluxe version of Super Mario 3D World, coming out possibly early next year, like what they did with uh, Super Mario Brothers 2 Deluxe. And I see them bringing three Zelda games to the Switch in addition to
Wow.
the one that's coming out. And that's going to be Wind Waker HD, Twilight Princess HD, and they're going to bring Skyward Sword in HD to the Switch. Skyward Sword being a weird one because it was dependent on the Wii's motion controls, and they gotta find a way to get rid of that. So they may have to retool some stuff, and maybe that's why the game never came out on the Wii U. We did get Twilight Princess and Wind Waker, but I think that they're gonna be very bold and they're gonna announce uh, those three Zelda games, which would make me lose my mind because I didn't own a GameCube, I didn't own a Wii, so I that's it. I'm caught up after that, dude. I'm caught up with Zelda, so
Wow.
and like that would be fantastic. Like that's I think they're gonna be they're in it to win it. They're gonna keep their momentum going. They may release them in a bundle. They may trickle them down. People are clamoring for Twilight Princess on Switch, so maybe we'll see that. And of course, Skyward Sword's still stuck on the Wii, so maybe we'll see that. Um, and of course, I think we are going to finally see something about Metroid Prime 4. So that's what I have for Nintendo because they've already showed a lot for this year.
Yeah, I don't have too big expectations. I think the largest thing I could see coming out of this is a look at, um, their potential mini Switch kind of coming out, like the economy friendly Switch. That
So
could be the one item I see their biggest piece.
so did you see that SKUs that got leaked from GameStop?
No.
Nope. So there was I think 60 SKUs for the Switch that got leaked, and there's one SKU that was $200.
Okay.
And I don't think Nintendo's crazy enough to do a $200 collector's edition game. So that could potentially be that mini Switch
Yeah.
thing. There was a render, of course, it was fake, but there was a render floating around that basically looked like a Vita with the Wii with the not Wii. I'm sorry, the Switch sort of button layout.
Joy-Cons,
It will not have removable Joy-Cons and HD Rumble, so those features are going to be gone, and that's how they're going to be able to cut the costs on that.
nice.
Yeah,
But I do think though it will be dockable. I just don't think it will come with a dock.
yeah, yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
And you know why this is the right time for them to do it, because Persona Q2 is coming out for the 3DS, and that is the last game for the 3DS. There's no other games coming out after that. So they're not gonna lose that market, man.
No.
They gotta secure the put it in your pocket and keep going market, and you cannot put a Switch in your pocket. So
You can try. You will fail.
You can attempt. You must have really huge pockets to put a Switch in.
Literally huge pockets, not wealthy pockets.
So, Joel, here's a business idea. We should have cargo pants for the Switch. It's like, so we got Switch pockets on the side.
Cargo shorts are definitely fans of our sweaty nerds.
Patent it. Done.
Yep.
Stamp it.
Oh man, we have it on our live show.
Yeah, yeah. But I think this is the right time for them to announce it, and coming in at $200, is very aggressive. Yeah, I can definitely see that being the case, man.
Yeah, that to me, that was the first thing that stood out to me as the largest thing that people are going to talk about coming out of there. Aside from, like you're saying, like if they bring the last Zelda pieces that you haven't been able to play, like if they bring that on Switch, it's gonna be great. I think also they'll showcase some of the Xbox Game Pass stuff that's been rumored to be coming on to Switch. That shared service where you can bring some of those games on to Nintendo. It's a way of expanding their brand. It's a way of Microsoft playing nice. So yeah, I definitely can see that being a piece that's showcased during the show. And I also think Halo could be one of those things that maybe makes its way onto the Switch.
That's pretty bold.
Maybe.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
We'll see.
But you know what? I've been known to make bad bets like I did with X-Men, so I still owe you lunch for that.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey. So, yeah, that's what I have for Nintendo. They've been showing a lot throughout the year. Of course, I'm looking forward to Astral Chain coming out in August, amongst other things. But that's what I have for them.
Wow.
Yeah. Moving now to Microsoft, Joe, because Sony is quote unquote not gonna be there. But going into Microsoft, Joe, we'll see a Forza. We'll see Halo Infinite, because that's confirmed.
Forza's like the Just Dance of
Xbox. Comes out every year. Yeah. Well, this is not a Horizon year, right? This is a motorsport year, right? So this is a sim one. I don't know. I don't care about racing games. So yeah, but Halo Infinite is gonna be there.
Nice.
That's confirmed, and they also confirmed that the game will not be on Xbox One. So what you will see, this will be more than likely next gen stuff. They said that it's gonna be there. And they've confirmed that this was not Xbox One. So there's that. I see them bringing back Fable in some way. They need that, action RPG sort of game on their library for sure. So I do see them bringing Fable back. There was that studio that was supposed to be working on a Fable game. I think it was one of the Gears of War studios that they had. So I can definitely see that. I think we'll see something from Ninja Theory that was announced that they got bought out by Microsoft last year. I think we'll see what they're working on. Apparently, Ninja Theory has been working on a game that's supposed to be like an open world online co-op shooter sort of thing. They're experimenting. Of course, that's what Ninja Theory has always been a very experimental sort of company, so studio. So I can definitely see that from them. Um, Gears of War 5 is gonna get an announced date, or a release date. It's gonna get announced, basically. I can definitely see that happening. Um, Anything else before we talk hardware, Joel? Anything else? They said that they're gonna have like 4 new IPs.
Yes. So that's my thing. Is like last year they made a big focus on the studios that they acquired. I think this is the year where they obviously they're just not, it's not feasible for them to show a bunch of stuff that they have in production. I just don't think a lot of those things are just ready to be seen. But I think that you're saying that they do take, like they've mentioned, those 3 or 4 titles and give time to them. Saying this, remember we talked about this stuff last year. We acquired these guys. We want to bring you guys exclusives. We want to bring you guys some stuff that you'll be proud of. And then this is the year where they're going to put it in our face and say, this is what we've been working on. This is going to really tie into the future of some of these new things that we're bringing onto Xbox. So I do agree with that. I also think that they'll show a lot more of the Xbox Game Pass. And then I also think that Age of Empires 4 might be something that they spend some time on too. But all the other stuff you mentioned, that's where they'll really stick their focus on. They'll try and make us forget about Crackdown 3. They'll try and make us forget about.
Oh my god! I
I
already forgot about Crackdown.
You did.
3. You don't have to even make me forget about it. I already forgot about that.
Well, for the Microsoft fanboys, that was supposed to be their saving grace, right? That was supposed to be the one to put them ahead and be the thing that they could hang their hats on, and it wasn't. So. Which is no surprise. So, this is going to be a year where they're going to have to say, this is new stuff to be proud of. This is the 3 or 4 titles.
Yeah. What about third-party stuff that's going to get shown at Microsoft? Do you think we'll get something from Software, which they're working on a big game with George R. R. Martin, and
yes.
So that's rumored to be coming out for everything. That's going to be a Namco published game. Do you think we'll see anything from Capcom? I mean, Capcom already gave us what we wanted: RE2 and
right.
and DMC5. So,
maybe.
If we see, I mean, we may see something from Capcom. Maybe them bringing something back. Another remake or reboot of one of their classic franchises. Do you think we'll see anything from Activision at all other than Call of Duty?
Call of Duty, yeah.
Probably not, right?
Yeah, nothing else from Call. That's enough of time taking up right there. And like, we're going to get into it, but I think next gen will take a lot of time.
Yeah. But I do see a few of the third-party studios and publishers coming out during the Microsoft conference and making an announcement, of course. Looking forward to that From Software announcement. Looking forward to anything that Capcom has to announce. I'll be looking forward to after this stellar 2 years that we've had from them. They're back to being Cap God, so they're on the right track.
Yeah.
Next gen stuff. Do you think they're okay? My prediction: next gen, and this is based on all the information that I've compiled and read and rumors and speculation and whatnots. Xbox Infinite is going to be the name of the console. It's going to launch at $499 sometime next year. They're not going to talk price this year, but that's my prediction. What the console is going to be called. Very similar specs to the rumored PS5, but not as high because of the PS5 using a lot of custom hardware. They will, however, release a less powerful version, but they're not going to call it the Infinite Value because that game's awful. But they will definitely use a different moniker on it. They're not going to use Xbox One. They'll definitely use like Xbox Infinite. They may call it Xbox Infinite S and Xbox Infinite S. Oh wait, did I say S twice? I did.
You did.
Oh boy, See,
SX. Little Billy.
little Billy is gonna be real disappointed when he can't do 8K graphics on Christmas.
It's like, can you guys just get the name right for Little Billy's sake?
Yeah. Yeah. So that I think that's my prediction. The cheaper one is gonna be priced at $349, but it will not have a Blu-ray player. The the nice one is gonna have a Blu-ray player and the higher end graphics and whatnot. The lesser model is gonna be basically more of an overclocked Xbox One X basically. So it's gonna be almost on par to that, a bit quicker because it'll have a better CPU. It's what I think it will. But yeah, sometime next year, maybe fall next year, we'll probably see them, Joe. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, they're gonna make it very simple. They're gonna have to put out something of a next gen tease, and it's gonna be just that, a tease. They're gonna say the future of Microsoft is here. We've been working on this thing. They're not gonna give us a name. They're just gonna. I think that they're just gonna tell us that this is what we're working on.
I think they're gonna come up with a name.
Okay.
I think they're ready. They need, because they need to be out there. They need to release for before the PS5. And they have to.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I think that's why they're gonna try and rush this. Of like, we have to say that we're working on the future of whatever. But I mean, look, I think Sony will have a surprise. I'm not gonna get too crazy ahead of it, but I do think that like Sony will also say the future of PlayStation is coming. We'll talk about this thing more at this event, and tease their own event during E3. I think that they'll try and pull that audience and attention, so people know that look, we out here, we're here. But I do think that Microsoft will try just to get ahead of it. They'll make sure that they say, working on our next gen properties. This is the kind of this is the next gen type of hardware specifications and things that we expect. We expect this to have this native 4K and this type of online service, and like they're gonna like kind of keep it very basic sales pitch, and then they can, as they're working on this, then they figure out more. Then they can put the nails in at another point. So they'll have to just play it smart early.
Yeah, they need to play smart, but they need to put their foot forward before PS5, because they need it. They need it. Joel, I have a very, very bold prediction, and it's that either Sean Layden or Jim Ryan show up at this conference from Sony.
Wow.
And to talk about the partnership.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, and that's a bold prediction, but I think that's going to be a thing.
That'd be very nice.
Yeah, and it'll be a very very surreal moment for all of us, and a very salty moment for all those Xbox fanboys. Like, what is this guy doing here? So. But yeah, I think they're gonna come out and definitely show something. I think this thing's far along. I think they're ready to put their foot forward before PlayStation, and if they're ready, to show Xbox Infinite running on what could be next gen hardware, they can definitely benefit from the hype and use that as their launching point. This is what we're working on, and here you go. I'm pretty sure we'll probably see some more of Cyberpunk somewhere in this conference. Maybe something from even another studio, maybe something from Bethesda announced during this conference, because Bethesda goes out later that night. So I can see some really big stuff coming out. It's just that we're in a very weird moment right now where we're getting ready to transition to a next gen, more than likely within the next 10 months. And it's kind of hard to decipher right now what everyone's doing. Like, we've really nailed it the last 2 years that we did this, but this year it's weird, and then with Sony not having a conference, although like what you said, and that's my prediction, Sony is gonna drop a release date for The Last of Us, and it's gonna drop, a hint out their next event to talk about next gen, and they're gonna keep dropping hints here and there. I think that this E3 is gonna be the most important E3 that we've had in a while. I want to say since Shuhei Yoshida taught us how to share taught us how to share games on PS4 with Adam Boyce is like thanks, yeah. I think it's gonna be the biggest E3 since that one.
Wow.
And again, not the biggest when it comes to like a lot of stuff, but importance wise, I think this is going to be a very important E3. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't see anything else that's going to be super crazy. Of course, Microsoft could announce new IPs. That's going to be TBD. Of course, now this other studios, they need to deliver, because if not, they're going to get shuttered. So
they'll talk about their TV series with Halo.
I don't think
they'll talk about that.
I don't think they're gonna talk any TV at all.
It's their biggest property, man.
Nah, dude, they're not gonna wing it. We'll They're gonna play it so safe, man. They're gonna play it so safe. Like last year, it was like, don't even talk, just play the trailers. Like, play the trailers, and all the trailers played. And thank you guys. But I think this one's gonna have more interaction because of hardware being a thing. So that's what I got, man. I don't see any really really crazy surprises. I mean, I love to be surprised. So I'm hoping that next week, Joe, when we record, that I'll be surprised, and I tell you guys that I'm excited and I am surprised by stuff that happens. So yeah, we'll see. Joe, in the meantime, man, where can everyone find us?
Absolutely. Thank you guys for taking time out of your special day to spend some special time with us on this special episode of No Load Time. We talked all about...
So special, Joe.
So special. It really is. But guys, make sure to stay connected with us. Go ahead and subscribe to our show. We're on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and Spotify. We also are on YouTube as well. Please make sure to go ahead and follow us on our social media so you can stay up to date. Go ahead and follow us at No Load Time. That's at No Load Time on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. Also, feel free to send in any emails, just as we talked about in the beginning of our show, that we appreciate feedback, and we also welcome questions, comments that we may be able to discuss on the show about, some of the things that we discussed today. Maybe you have predictions yourselves you want to send to us. Feel free to do that. Send an email to noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we can't wait to see you guys on our very next episode.
Thank you guys, and tune in next week to see if we got any of this right and if we're excited and surprised. So thank you guys again. We'll see you next week.